We use graphics and audio and animation and video to provide computer services to unskilled users. Kiosk is a term that's grown up for almost any packaged microcomputer system which delivers multimedia information in airports and hotels and places like that for customer service in retail stores and many other kinds of locations. So we're taking advantage of mainframe computer information, but we're presenting it in audio and video and graphic forms which are familiar to the end user. But they always reside on the computer, and they're always in interactive form. They're always under user control. We found that there were many customers who had the need for their part-time or relatively untrained employees to be able to use computer information to carry out their job. Box office operations can have people booking seats, doing transactions within about 5 minutes of the time they sit down at the screen. And while we're doing all of that, we're building all of the reports in the background about customer lists for future direct mail. We're building inventory status reports and revenue reports. What we're doing here is making a change to a corporate name. This is an interactive information system for a financial institution that's been running very successfully for about 1.5 years. The company's just been bought out, so we're in the process of changing all of the graphics and video information. The major difference here with this system is that what is appearing on the screens is all video. Even though some of it is generated by the Amiga, it's being generated in NTSC video form. So unlike most computer systems where we would have to change the program and then change the presentation through a video board, here we can just change the material on the Amiga and have it coincide with everything that's coming out from the video disc. We have begun to get much more involved in processing host information in a user-friendly way. And the Broadcast Center project is one of these cases. It's basically called a wayfinding system. CBC is very much IBM mainframe and DOS computer shop, and we certainly looked at that technology. However, the Amigas could do so much more for us because of the multitasking capability. So they could be servicing an inquiry from a user, and at the same time they could be updating themselves and measuring the usage and reporting on their operating status. The people here were surprised at the recommendation, but they agreed to let us do the prototype on the Amiga, and when they saw that, they were thrilled with it, and we went straight ahead. A central system monitors the performance of all those remote systems and finds out that they're all working okay. It also acts as an operations panel, a control panel, for relatively unskilled people to be able to operate this network of interactive units. The dual interface on the back end of the network to both the architectural information, which is based on a VAX system, and also to the personnel information, which is based on IBM databases. There are two significant cost implications of choosing the Amiga. One is that if you are going to use multiple media forms, the Amiga already has those in the box, so you don't have to add a lot of costly cards. And the second major advantage was the multitasking, so that we could provide services to the end users and run the systems in the background without interrupting that user session, and that was very important.
CDTV is a new technology from Commodore that incorporates the power of the Amiga computer system with a CD-ROM drive. CDTV allows corporations to put together very, very high quality interactive multimedia training discs. Corporations no longer have to limit their training stations to just a handful of expensive units. With CDTV, a corporation can put literally thousands of players out into their branch and division offices. CDTV is redefining what interactive multimedia can be all about. It's literally an order of magnitude above the competition.
The amount of information that is pertinent to the practice of medicine keeps growing at an astronomical rate. And we have to make some very difficult choices as to how much of that information we are going to present to our students and how it is going to be presented. It makes new technology absolutely indispensable. Tools that we can develop and use that will allow the student to assimilate as much of this information and retain it as possible are going to help us toward our goal of training decent physicians. The original intent that ultimately became the dynamic spine was to produce a three-dimensional learning tool for students of anatomy.
We started with the goal of producing a very simple computer program to teach medical students spinal biomechanics. The project just continued to mushroom into a very encompassing program. In its present state, it's essentially everything you wanted to know about the spine.
We have found that when we began to develop the program, that the Amiga was far and away the most cost-effective system that we could use.
I came into it as a medical student with no formal training in graphic or computer design.
And with the availability of authoring systems, it's made it much simpler to develop training products and interactive applications. In my opinion, multimedia will be something that will grow and that will be expanded as the technology expands. If you look at the results of the training programs that have been developed using multimedia, you'll find that employees, for example, are trained better, they learn quicker, and that the use of multimedia is a much more effective tool. We have won 2 awards given from the New York Festival's 1992 International Multimedia Competition. We were competing with applications from all over the world, from which we were singled out as award winners.
It was doubly gratifying because the dynamic spine was up against Macintosh and IBM software. The Amiga clearly allowed us to complete the project much more efficiently and creatively than the other platforms would have done.
If a company wanted to develop a training program in-house and wanted to do it cost-effectively, and that training program was going to include video, I would recommend the Amiga as the platform of choice.
The Amiga is an excellent tool, particularly for small business enterprises.
Professionals who sit at edit consoles absolutely love it.
CBC is very much IBM mainframe and DOS computer shop. However, the Amigas could do so much more for us.
The Amiga was far and away the most cost-effective system that we could use.